Good evening, everyone. This is Robert, RJL 518, welcoming you back to another exciting edition of World War II Leader. And tonight we're beginning a medium patrol of U-Boat Leader. The campaign we're going to choose again is going to be The Battle Begins. Since we're also playing Tiger Leader at the same time, and we're still in the Poland campaigns, doing 1 week. We are 1 week into Poland, Mokra, 1939, from Tiger Leader. So we've completed 1 week there. So I thought, let's go back to the Atlantic and play some naval action. So we're going to start a medium patrol for The Battle Begins in September 1939. And I've decided to play a medium patrol. So that's 2 patrols. Is how this is going to work. So we have 2 patrols here. So we're going to take and I decided to only take 2 U-boats. The reason why I chose 2 U-boats is because I think it'll play a little faster, and we should be able to get through 1 complete patrol of each boat through in a period here. And although 2 U-boats doesn't sound like a lot, it allows me. We get 32 special option points for a medium campaign, and that allowed me to buy 2 veteran Type 9A U-boats, U-44 and U-43. Now, of course, U-44 starts in January 1940, but as long as you choose a U-boat from those dates, we can use this U-boat. So we're going to start with a veteran level U-boats, which will be very useful. They'll have a total of 22 torpedoes available. And we also had 5 special option points left over if we want to try a mission here to try to get some victory points. So we're going to take only 2 U-boats into this campaign, and we'll see how this will work. So hopefully we'll have an enjoyable fight as the Germans continue the early stages of the Battle of the Atlantic. So U-43 and U-44 are the 2 submarines I chose for this. And we're going to go, and today I think we're going to send both of them into the North Sea on this patrol. So we're going to send them both into the North Sea. And probably may give maybe try a special mission, possibly. I don't know. And maybe on this first patrol, I'll get them into the North Sea and see what we can sink out there. And so I hope everyone will enjoy, and let's get right down to it. So this is The Battle Begins, and that is going to be our campaign. Everything has already been done and set up. So we start with the strategic segment, and we expend the special option points. We can do air searches. We can put a supply ship out there. We can put intelligence. So we got 5. I have 5 special option points at this moment. And what we'll do here is I'll put let's put a marker. I'll use a die here to state that we have 5 special option points remaining before we go into before we send these ships on patrol. So let's see what we got here. So we can do an air search, which allows us to deploy 2 convoy cards for each contact in the campaign map area. Or we can do supply ships, which allows you to deploy a supply ship, and during the refit segment, the stress points for each U-boat in the same area as the supply ship are reduced by 2. And let's see how much a supply ship costs. Let's see here. Purchasing a supply ship. Let's see here. We can have wolf packs as well. And let's see here. We got here. Let's see. R&R, intelligence attack, 1 special option mine, 1 special option air search. May not be able to use a supply ship for this one here because this is special option notes, which tells you what we can use to spend the SO options on. So it doesn't look like we can use supply ships. We can do a mine mission if we want, or an air search, or a radio call. I think what we'll do is for this first patrol out there, let's send our submarines out there. Let's see what we can sink. So let's get right to it. So no air search, no supply ships, and we're not going to do a priority R&R, advanced We're not going to do advanced torpedoes because they don't, right now, they are not available. And we're not going to do an attack or a raider. So we're going to go straight into the operations segment. So let's begin our battle. We're both going to send both of them into the North Sea. That's where we're going to have them patrol to see what we can do. So let us begin. So we'll start with the, we'll now go into the operations segment. So now we'll move the U-boat. So we first move the first one. So we're going to use U-43 first. He will leave the port from Germany. So he'll leave the port from Germany, and he's going to go into the North Sea to start his his maneuvering. And as we move into the North Sea. So we draw an event card, and it is Donetsk take notice. If you score 9 or more victory points during this tactical segment, gain 2 SO points. This event can only happen once per campaign. Do not return this card to the event card deck. All right, so if we score 9 or more victory points during this tactical segment, gain 2 SO points. So that's going to be tough. We'll keep that there as a reminder to know that can happen. So scoring 9 or more victory points during this tactical segment. All right, so we'll see what happens as we get that. So we've moved into the North Sea. And he's moved in there, and he is going to stop. Now we're going to move U-44 into the North Sea. So now we have 2 submarines in the North Sea. He will draw an event card, and he gets the fatal error card. If this U-boat is unfit, roll a die and compare to the U-boat's experience below. If U-boat is not unfit, add 2 stress to the U-boat. So we lose 2 stress. So 2 stress automatically is going to go right to it. So one boat has some issues. The other boat is fine. So U-44 has 2 stress on him. And let's see here. We're gonna have our dice on the board here. We'll use the dice on the board since I don't have room for the bowl. So okay, so we've moved both U-boats into the North Sea. Now we go ahead and begin our patrol. So we've moved the U-boats. Both have moved, and now they're both okay. So he has 2 stress here, but he can have 7 stress before I have to worry about. And U-44 is aggressive, so he will actually strike first on convoys, instead of being cautious. So this could be very interesting how these 2 submarines try to sink the merchant shipping. So now we go to the contact phase. And the first contact phase we're going to use is U-43. That's Captain Lieutenant Wilhelm Ambrosius. He's a lieutenant commander, pretty much equivalent. A Captain Lieutenant is equivalent to a lieutenant commander in the American forces, Captain Lieutenant. So he will go ahead and we will go first. So he's a contact phase. He is a searcher, so he does add 1 to the roll for contacts. And we'll go to the contact phase here. So he adds 1 to the roll. So let's see how many contacts he gets in this version here. And that is a 2 plus 1 is a 3. So he actually finds just 1 contact. So there's only 1 contact in this section of the patrol for U-43. And so let's see what the convoy card states it is. And our first it is. Oh, it's a naval contact. 3 naval ships and 3 escorts. Oh, do I want to send them up against a naval force? I'm going to say no. I'm not going to have him go after that force. I will not send him in there. So he will not attack after we view the convoy card. And we will go ahead. And that was the only contact he had. So he goes right into the search box because there are no contacts left. So he goes into the search box, which means we go right to the post-combat phase. So nothing occurred really. So return to the action decision. If the active U-boat has no contacts made for this turn, place the U-boat counter in the searched campaign map area. So he decides not to attack a naval combat or naval action. I think that's the right call. So U-43 is already unsearched, and he will stay there. So we are done with him that quickly. Now remember, we're going to do 2 patrols. A patrol is the U-boats stay out in the area until they come back to port. So let's see how long we can stay out there. U-44 is next now. We'll see how many. Contacts he comes up with, and he has no special abilities, so we're just rolling the contacts on chart for him, and that is a 1. He didn't find any, so none of these guys find contacts in the North Sea. So we come up empty on the first stage of the patrol. So both are now in the searched area. So no attacks, no nothing. And of course, a warning, a -2 contact would have showed up in there, but no contact. So now we go straight to the refit segment. And we promote. There's no U-boats to promote. Nobody got any experience points or so. So we go right now. Since we now go to the so no promote U-boats. There's no patrol limits. There was no now stress recovery. There's not a stress recovery. There won't be any stress recovery for U-44. He has 2 stress in him already. And that's all that will happen there. Stress recovery at sea. Ambrosius actually has a cool rating, and he would recover stress, but he has no stress on the submarine, so he is fine. And of course, the campaign is not over, and there are submarines. So we go ahead and we reset the campaign map as we move both of these U-boats back into the sea area, and they will continue their patrol. So the patrol continues. So nothing happening in refit, no stress recovery, port restock. So we go right to resetting the campaign map, which means we go back to the operations segment where we move the U-boats. So now what they're going to do is they're going to stay in the North Sea, but they're going to patrol. So that means that now they have to get 2 event cards to patrol here. So U-43 will move out, and he will attempt to patrol. And we get 2 event cards. First one is counterintelligence. Remove any air search and supply ship counters from this campaign map area. Well, there are none, so we don't worry about that one. Second one, rough seas. Add 1 stress to this U-boat. Add 1 stress to this U-boat. An enemy aircraft. Roll a die. Add evasion rating. So we have rough seas and enemy aircraft. So 1 stress will go to U-43. So he gets 1 stress, and we have enemy aircraft. So roll a die, and we got to add his evasion rating. His evasion rating is 4. And he gets a 1, which is a 5, so he takes 1 light hit. Enemy aircraft takes 1 light hit, but he does gain an experience point. So he takes a light hit, and the light hit is an oil leak. So it is an oil leak. So he took a light hit, so he has an oil leak. But he does get an experience point. And I think we'll use, I can mark that down somewhere. So where is my pen? As he gets an experience point here. So that is U-43. So U-43 gains an experience point, which is good. But he took an oil leak, so let's see what that is. Let's see here, oil leak. Oil leak. The U-boat has an oil leak, making it easier to find. Add an alerted counter to the tactical display at the end of each combat resolution phase. All right. but it's not lasting. It's just an oil leak. So let's see here. So lasting damage. So an oil can suffer some. So damage counter does not limit the damage you can suffer. So if you run out of counters, use some other counter to note the damage. So it is a light damage. So the U-boat has an oil leak, making it easier to find, and an alerted counter to the tactical display at the end of each combat resolution phase. Ugh. So he has an oil leak, which is not that great. So we got to mark it. So when he attacks anybody, and I know I have an oil counter here someplace. Let's see. Here we go. So he has an oil leak here, and that goes back into the cup. So he has an oil leak after escaping from an aircraft. But now let's see what he can do on the. Let's see what he can do now on here. So those are the 2 event cards. So now we have our contacts. So U43 will attempt to do contacts. He is a searcher, so Captain Ambrosius gets a +1 to his contacts. And again, he rolls low, so it looks like all these dice are rolling low today. So it's only 1 contact shows up on his screen. So let's find out what it is. And this time it is another big ship unit here. 6 merchants and 3 escorts. And he is... I think he has an oil leak. I think I'm going to decline that, and he will go into the search box. With an oil leak, he's not going to attack him, so he will go ahead and repair his U-boat during the refit segment, and he will stay put. So nothing going on for Ambrosius. We're going to go back to U44, as he will now go ahead and try to get out there. So he's patrolling, so he draws 2 event cards. Ultra Intercept, place a U-boat warning counter in this campaign map area. So it gets a U-boat warning counter. So now it's a -2 to contacts. Second event card, Radio Intercept. Add +1 to this U-boat's next contact die roll. Okay, so that's good. So he gets +1 on the next die roll for contacts. So Captain Mathis, Ludwig Mathis, will now roll for his contacts. So it's -1 from the contact, but +1. So it's only a -1 now on the contact roll. So we go ahead and roll here. And so it's -1 on the contact roll. And that's an 8, -1 is 7. And there's going to be 2 contacts showing up for U44. So we're going to have 2 contacts in the scene. And hopefully, finally, we might find some action. Because right now, these submarines are patrolling in the North Sea, but not able to get really anything going on, as both subs already have some. So let's see what U44 picks up. The first convoy he comes up will be, ooh, that's not bad. You got 6. You got, actually, it is 6 merchants and 3 escorts. Wow, I'm getting a big ones right now. I'm going to decline that and make it 1 contact left. So now only 1 contact is left. He will retreat there, and now he'll try another convoy card. Oh, and finally we get a lone merchant. So now we get a lone merchant, and that one we will go after. And of course, if you score 9 or more victory points during this tactical segment, you gain 2 SO. Unfortunately, we didn't, so this is nullified because we didn't get the 9 victory points on that. Maybe we should have. So there's 1 lone merchant ship that just showed up out of nowhere. So let's find out and see. We'll see what it could be. So 1 lone merchant ship, and U44. Where are we going to put him? We're going to put him here. Why not? It's 1-on-1. Should be able to take out that merchant, whatever it is. So we'll finally get our first taste of combat here. So, and they have no escorts, of course. So the U-boat is in there, and so now we're gonna draw another convoy card to see what anything special happening on this. And it says heavy fog, end combat at the end of the second combat resolution phase. Well, all right, so that means that we have two combat phases to sink this guy before anything happens. Okay, so we got some heavy fog coming up, and let's see if we can let's see if we can get rid of this guy here. So we have there is alerted. So alerted marker, no alerted there. So we have a battle location here at the North Sea. So here we go. Now, U-44 is aggressive, so it means he gets to attack first. So he gets the first shot here on this lone merchant ship here in the North Sea. So we go to the U-boat gets to move, and we're gonna stay surfaced because he has an evasion rating of 3. So hopefully, whatever this guy has, he's gonna stay surfaced. So we're gonna move him right into this guy's face, and we get to find out what he is. So we're gonna stay surfaced. We're gonna get right into his face. And let's see what he is. And he is a large steam merchant, Orari class. It's 10,000 tons. And he's got 2 light, though. He's got 2 light. Oh boy, that could be interesting there. That could be interesting. He's got 2 light, the Orari. So it's a large steam merchant. So he has 2 light on him. So he can do 2 light. So that means that, I believe that means that he can avoid 1. I don't know if he avoids both. We'll find out when we get there. So the Orari is a large steam merchant. Then go to lag, and there's not going to be any because both ships are moving the same speed. So there's no lag. Nobody moves any forward, so they're moving at the same speed. Now we go to escorts, and there are none. And now we go to attack. And we are an aggressive U-boat due to Ludwig's aggressive nature here. So he gets to fire first on this guy. He gets to fire first. So in order to sink this guy with torpedoes, we need 11. So this is a pretty big ship at 10,000 tons. It's a pretty big ship, and it's worth 2 victory points and 2 experience points. So we need we need to really nail him. So let's see what we get. So let's see. So we're going to fire a spread of torpedoes. I got 6 torpedoes in ready here. I don't know if I really need to use them all. I think a spread of 4 may be enough. So we get plus U-boat plus the torpedo skill modifier, and he's only a +1 though, so he gets +1. So it's +1, -1 per rage is 0, plus number of fired, which is 4, -1 would be a 3. So it would be a 3. We get 3 to the highest torpedo rating on a spread of 4 torpedoes. And you know what? I'm going to make it a spread of 5 to really try to get this guy out, so we don't have to worry about taking any damage. So we're going to throw 5 dice. So now it's going to be a +4 to the highest rating. And by the way, I should change that and take that out. And that is the Orari. So that's the Orari. So that's who we're facing, a large steam merchant. So we have a +4 to the die roll. So out of these 5 dice, we need a 7 to sink this thing. So fire 5 torpedoes. Shroom. And we got it. There's a 8, a 10. There's an 8. There's a 10. The 8 was good enough. So we fired 5 torpedoes at this thing, and they all strike. We're not going to use dud torpedo rules. They all strike, and in order to sink the Orari, you need an 11, so you get an 8. We had the 10, but the 10 plus 4 is a 14. So the Orari goes glug, 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 glug. And he is gone. So we sink the Orari. So that's a good start for the U-boat. And it didn't even get a chance to attack. So we will go ahead and mark what we get there. So that is U44. So he gets 2 experience points and 2 victory points for sinking it. So a good start for U44 as he goes ahead and sinks this guy. So he is gone. Now, remember, once decks are used, you just reshuffle. So that's why I say it's an Orari class. It's really because, you know, we could show up again in another battle somewhere. So that is U44. He sinks a ship, so we get 2 victory points for that to start with. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So that is the end of the battle. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? So then we go to post-combat resolution. We have to add stress. So you add 1 stress point to each surviving U-boat that participated in the phase. So the 2 now becomes a 3. And of course, that was the only contact that was left, so it's a 0. So the 2 becomes a 3. We reload the ready torpedoes. So we had 5. We used 5. So we're going to take out, let's see, we're going to change this 6 into a 1. Because we're going to move 5 torpedoes. The difference, if there is Brian Patterson joins us here. One of the differences between U-boat leader and Gato leader, and I really took a closer look at the Gato leader rules. One of the differences in U-boat leader, you cannot ready torpedoes during the same combat. Gato leader, you can. Gato leader, you can ready torpedoes. You can take a turn to ready torpedoes in Gato leader. You cannot do that in U-boat leader. U-boat leader, once you fire your torpedoes for a convoy that are readied, you pretty much got to get out of there because you can't ready them on the next. You can't take a turn to ready torpedoes on the next turn. So that's there. However, in Gato leader, the dud torpedo rules for the United States are not optional. They are mandatory. Dud torpedo rules in U-boat leader are optional. Because remember, early in the war, in the silent war under the sea against the Japanese, the United States had major issues with duds. Major issues with duds. So dud torpedoes in Gato leader are not optional. You must use that rule. But then again, like I said, you can ready torpedoes in that, where here you can't ready torpedoes for the U-boats. But dud torpedoes is an optional rule, and we're not using it here. So that was the final contact for U44. That was the only contact we had here. So we added the stress, we reloaded torpedoes, recorded experience points, and now action decision has no contacts remaining. You place the U-boat count in the search box for the campaign map area it is in. So that is it for that here. And so now we go to the refit segment as they are done. So the refit segment, promote the U-boats. None of them can be promoted. His rating is 11. His is a 9. So he cannot be promoted. Neither can be promoted. Patrol limits, they're not returned. We did not return them to port. They are still out in the North Sea. And so they are still staying out there. And let's see. Stress recovery. A U-boat can reduce its number of stress points while in port when it goes to a forward operating base. Stress recovery at sea. If the submarine has a cool special ability, also reduce the submarine stress by one stress point. Captain Ambrosius is cool, so this stress is removed. So that stress comes off, which is good. So that's there. And now let's see about and what about repairs? Because he has an oil leak. So I got to find out about repairs on this because it was a not a full repair. It was a let's see here, temporary. A UFO can suffer from the same type of damage more than once. Temporary damage counters are removed from the U-boat during stress recovery. Okay, so the oil leak has been stopped, and he is now back to full. And we take these off here, and that is it for the refit segment. And we reset the campaign map. And now we go back to the operations segment because they're going to keep our U-boats out there as long as we can. So we've already sunk one ship. So now we're going to move them back out of the search box and we'll see what happens. So now, first we're going to move let's see. First we're going to do U-43 again. So he's going to move back into patrol. And he's patrolling, so he draws 2 event cards. First one is naval target. If the U-boat is not unfit, it may expend any 4 torpedoes and suffer 3 stress points to gain 3 victory points. Well, he'll definitely do that. The U-boat is not unfit, so he'll expend 4 torpedoes and suffer 3 stress to gain 3 victory. So what we'll do is we'll turn this 6 into a 3. I think it's 4. I'm sorry, 4 torpedoes. So we'll turn it into a 2. So he'll turn 2 torpedoes there, and he will suffer. And let's see. Let me just read it again. Let me just double check it again. And against 3 stress, he gains 3 stress, but he gains 3 victory points. So that's pretty good for U-43. So we will take those victory points, absolutely, as we should. I forgot I had that. So U-43 is going to get, let's see, he's going to get 3 victory points. So that's pretty good there. So not bad. That was our first one. Now we go to the second event card, and he gets, again, enemy aircraft. Roll a die, add evasion rating. So the evasion rating for him is a 4 plus 3 is a 7, and he takes, again, 1 light hit. And he does, but the U-boat does get an experience point. So we give an experience point, but he does take a light hit. And it is going to be again with the oil leak. Oh boy. Okay. So the oil leak is back on this guy. The oil leak is back on him. So again, he takes it. So maybe he got found by the ship, but now he's got an oil leak on him. Once again, he's got the oil leak. How about that? Interesting how this is going for U-43. So those are the 2 event cards. So now he rolls for contacts. So we check to here. He has a searching ability. So he gets +1 to his contact rolls. It's a 4. +1 is 5. So only 1 contact this time. So only 1 contact. And we draw the convoy card. And it is 2 lone merchants. All right. Now we're getting good. So 2 lone merchant ships just showed up. So 2 lone merchant ships just showed up there, and he will attack it. So we're going to have a battle location there, and there will be a warning issued to contacts now. So U-43 is going to go again head-to-head with these 2, as he'll just show up here. And he will be, I think in this case, he's going to submerge. There are 2 contacts there. So he's going to come in submerged, I think, instead of surfaced. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and so he's going to come up against those guys. All right, so that sounds cool. All right, now that we're on the board, now we got to see if there's anything special for the battle. And it says gain 1 extra victory point if you sink all the merchant ships. Oh, that's good. That's a good little propaganda. So we'll gain an extra victory point if we sink both of these guys. Okay. Okay. So now there is an oil leak on there that we has, but there are no escorts. And once again, I'll check the oil leak, and it says the U-boat is an oil leak. Make it easier to find. Add an alerted counter to the tactical display at the end of each combat resolution phase. All right, so we have an alerted counter, but they're not there yet. So not too bad. So now we're going to go. So U-43 is on the market. There are 2 lone merchant ships in the area here in the North Sea. And so we're going to move. He's going to move here, and we're going to move towards this way here is what we're going to do. So we're going to come up there, move there, and that's the only movement he's going to make. Now you do lag. Now we're going to have a speed of 0 for the lag, which means the U-boat is actually going to go 1, 2 into this guy. But before we do that, though, we did move within 2 range. Let's first see who we want to get into range with. So we're 2 X's. So this one here is a large freighter, the Beaverburn class large freighter. It's 10,000 tons. And he's a pretty big ship. So that is the Beaverburn. Let's see if I can find that thing here, the Beaverburn. There it is. So the Beaverburn, and this one here is the Zwiderkirk class medium freighter, 8,000 tons worth of victory points. So we have a large freighter and a medium freighter we got to try to sink. And so that's the I don't know if that's pronounced Zwiderkirk. I'm not 100% sure, but that is okay. We're going to go after the beat. We're going to go ahead and lag at a speed of 0. And we're going to lag here into the Beaverburn. I want to sink that guy because he is worth more right now with 2 victory points. So we lag into the same area as the Beaverburn. And of course, we're not detected there's no escorts to detect us. So we got a good chance to sink. We should probably sink both these guys. So U-43 will go ahead and make his move. So we lag in. There is no escorts. U-43 is not aggressive. He is cautious. The enemy does attack, but we are submerged, so we don't have to worry. So we don't have to worry about it. They can't find us. So we are submerged. So now we go straight to cautious U-boats. Because they cannot attack a submerged U-boat. They can attack a surface U-boat, even if not detected. So U-43 is going to attack the Beaverburn. So let's see what he has. We got 6 torpedoes ready. The Beaverburn needs at least a 10 to sink, and so does the Zwiderkirk. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw 3 torpedoes at each guy. I'm going to go 3 torpedoes at each unit. So I'm going to go 3 torpedoes at the Beaverburn and 3 at the Zwiderkirk. The ones against the Beaverburn is the torpedo skill modifier, which is +1. We're in the same space, so there's no negative here, so it's 0. So no -1 per range, so that's +1. Plus the number fired 3, -1 is 2. So it's a +3 to sink the Beaverburn. So we need a 7 on one of these 3 dice to sink it. So fire 3 torpedoes at the Beaverburn. And we got it. That's an 8, and that is a 10. So we fire 3 torpedoes at the Beaverburn, and boom, it is gone. So the Beaverburn class goes glug, 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 glug. So he is out of the fight. We get 2 victory points and 2 experience points for that, for U43. Now we got to deal with the 3 torpedoes that went after the Zweederkirk. The Zweederkirk was not the same because it's in a different area. We could probably surface and finish it off with the gun, all right, if we could probably surface and finish it off with the gun if possible, because he won't be able to do any damage to us. His surface is 1 light, and U43's evasion is a 4, so it's not going to really matter. So we fire 3 torpedoes at the Zweederkirk, so it is +1, minus the one range, minus the 1 range, which is 0, plus the number fired -1. So we need 2s. So 2 is added for the Zweederkirk. We need 8 in order to sink this thing. So fire 4, 5, and 6. Yes, we got it. There's an 8. That's a 7. I'll re-roll that. It was cocked. It's a 3. But the 8 does it. Becomes a 10. And boom! The Zweederkirk goes ahead and dies. We killed that one. So we sink the Zweederkirk. Victory point. Glug, 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 glug. So we go ahead and sink the that small freighter. So we get 1 victory point, one experience point, 1 experience point, and 1 victory point for it. And we get the extra victory points that then sink all the merchant ships. So he gets an extra victory point for that as well. So that was a very good little patrol for U43. And I believe there was only the 1 contact in that one. So let's see. I know it's way early in the war, but are there U.S. flag merchant in this game for later war campaigns? No, everybody is British. Everybody is British. The last campaign that's available for this game was The Hunted, and it ends in June 1943. There are no American ships, American merchants, or American warships in the game. I guess the reasoning behind that, was because in the later stages of the Battle of the Atlantic, the U-boats pretty much got decimated by the United States 10th Fleet and a beautiful invention called the escort carrier. The German U-boats had really no answer for the United States escort carriers, like the CVE, like the Casablanca class CVEs. They really had no answer for the escort carriers. They really didn't. And so I guess maybe they figured that after June 1943, it would be incredibly difficult for German U-boats to survive. Maybe they'll make an expansion for the later years. Maybe, I don't know. But right now, there are no U.S. ships at all in U-boat leader. So we did good there. We sank 2 unarmed merchants. So U43 did the job. Did a very nice job on that. And I think I'm not sure if it was 1 contact or 2. I don't remember if it was 1 contact or 2. You know, I didn't mention it. If it was 1 contact or 2. I think it was just 1 contact. So it was 1. I'm going to say I think it was just 1 contact. So U40. So a nice job by U43, and he will of course return to the North Sea area. So he did good there. That's nice for him to start. So, and of course he had the oil leak. So now we go to the post-combat resolution. We do add a stress. So now he's at 4 stress. He's not shaken yet. We did fire all. We do reload the torpedoes. He did fire all 6. So now I'll take the 7 and bring it down to a 1. As we reload there. So he still has 6 torpedoes stored and 6 And he doesn't have 6 ready to fire, right? Yeah, he has 6 ready to fire. So we move. So now we're down to 6 left stored, and 6 are now ready. And we're gonna move him into the search box, and he is done. Now it's U44's turn to go out there. U44 enters the North Sea. It is patrolling, so he has to draw 2 event cards. First one is maintenance. You may spend 2 special options to remove 1 stress from each U-boat. 2 SOs to remove 1 stress from each U-boat. No, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather save the SO points. So, okay. The second event card is Lone Merchant. If the U-boat is not unfit, it may expend any 1 torpedo to gain a victory point. Why not? So he will remove that. Torpedo will go away. So he'll get a victory point. So U44 will get a victory point for that. Not bad. So that is pretty good there to start with U44. So now he has patrolled. Now we got to see if he gets contacts. Now there is a warning in the box, so it's a -2 to the contact rolls. So the contact rolls, because a U-boat warning was discovered in the North Sea, all right, U44 is going to be a -2 to contacts, is because, of course, they alerted shipping, letting them know that there are U-boats in the area. So let's see if he still finds anybody. It is a 5, -2 is 3. He does find a contact. So a contact is found. And this time, let's put it there. So 1 contact, and let's see what it is. 4 merchants and 2 escorts. Yeah, let's do it. And one of the reasons why, he's aggressive. He can shoot first and ask questions later. So we're going to take this, and we're going to see if we can get a good one here. So 4 merchants and 2 escorts. Let's make it a little bit interesting here. So there are 4 merchant ships and 2 escorts in the area. And we'll see what we can go after here with U44. And all right, so now we're going to go back down to 0 for contacts. And U44, we're going to put him here, I think. So we can be careful. We got to be careful, because we got to be careful with the escorts, though. So we're going to put him there, because we got to come at them. And of course, we are submerged. So we are submerged. Okay. So we have 4 merchant ships and 2 escorts. And let's see what we can do. So that's it for that. As we place them on, now let's find out if there's anything special. And radio malfunction. You may not form a wolf pack. Well, that's okay, because U43 already attacked, so we couldn't use him anyway. So no wolf pack will be formed. So U44 is going to go out there and sink what he can get, and get the heck out of Dodge. So let's go to the combat resolution phase movement. And we got to be careful with these 2 escorts. So we would do risk detection. So U44, let's see, movement. We're going to go here, is what we're going to, or I think we're going to go here. Do I want to go here? Where do I want to go? I want to go here. Speed 1, move there. And Let me see something on lag. There's always something about the lag rule I want to learn here about lag. Let's see, lag. I think what we'll do instead is we're going to move. I'm going to take a chance here because I am aggressive. So I get to fire before these guys do anything. So I'm going to move into here instead. I'm going to take a chance here. And we're going to find, now we can find out what we're going up against. So I'm going to move U44 into that space. And before we do lag, let's see what we have. So the first merchant is a medium freighter, 5,000 tons, the Tiverton class. So let's get that one. All right. We are, let's see, 1, 2. We are 2 hexes away from that. The Robin Moore is a medium freighter, the Robin Moore class medium freighter. You find that one. One, two, three. We are too far away to find out what these 2 ships are. We do know what this escort is, though. And the escort is a Daring class, is an HMS Daring class destroyer. And we are 2 hexes away from that escort, and that is a Kite class sloop. So that is our targets right there for U44. Both the Robin Moore and the Tiverton are 5,000 ton medium freighters. They're only worth a victory point. I really would like to see what is behind there, and we're about to find that out because now we're going to do lag. For lag, we're going to go speed 0, and that is going to move here. Is going to move here, and I'm going to move right into the Tiverton area here. So I'm going to move the youth. I'm going to go speed 0 and have lag bring us into that against the Tiverton. Now we get to find out what the other ships are. So this other merchant is a small merchant, the Flora, 3,000 tons. And this one here is the Empress of Britain shows up again. The Empress of Britain high-speed passenger ship. All right. So that showed up again. Oh boy. All right. And high-speed ship, so it's moving. So the Empress of Britain is a high-speed passenger ship, 42,000 tons, 4 victory points. If I could have called a wolf pack, I would go after that thing. Instead, I may just take my shots at the Tiverton and the Flora and then just get out of there. I know going after the Empress of Britain would be huge. I probably could sink it. It needs 13. It needs a 13 to sink this thing. We didn't sink it the last time when we tried. We went after what we could get and get out of there. All right, so that is our targets for this one. And so let's see what's next. So now the escorts get to detect and move. So now the escort's going to detect. The Daring The kite cannot detect us because we're submerged and we're too away from it. So the kite cannot detect us. So it gets to move, but it does get to move. So an escort checks detection against a U-boat in a range of 0, 1. Add 1 to these ranges for each alerted counter on the tactical display, which there isn't. So determine if a U-boat is detected, roll a die, modify the die roll, compare it to the surface of submerged detection rating for the escort. If the modified die roll is equal to or greater than the escort's detection number, the U-boat is detected. Well, the kite can't detect, but the kite does get to move. So we roll to see where it's going to go. It rolls a 6, and it stays where it is. So the kite is going to stay put. Now we'll do the daring because it get a chance to detect us. So we'll see if the daring class, if the daring class destroyer does go ahead and hit us or detect us. So +1 detection die roll. There is not that. The escort does not have light or heavy damage on it. So the daring's detection rating submerged is a 6. So it's a 6. And I don't think the evasion makes a difference. I don't think on that. So its detection is a 6. For there's no alerted counters and no +X from tactics. So the daring detects us if we have a 6. So a 6 or higher, he finds us. Nope, he doesn't. He doesn't get us. The daring does not get us. Does not detect us. So it does, in that case, it gets to move, and it will move counterclockwise. So the daring moves here. So the daring moves down there, and that is where she's at. So we are not detected. So we are going to get a shot on the Empress. I think I unload all 6 torpedoes into the Empress of Britain. I think you unload all. I think that's the ship you go after. I know the Tiburton and the Flora could be easy targets, but the Empress of Britain is worth 4 victory points and 3 experience points. I think if you sink an Empress of Britain class high-speed passenger ship, I think this is what you really need to do. So U-40. And we are aggressive, so we get to fire first anyway. So let's try. So U-44. So let's see what we do. Let's try her out. We didn't go after it last time. We're going to go after it this time. So a high-speed passenger ship, 42,000 tons. U-44 sees it. It's got to sink it. This would be a big prize. So, and its speed is a 3. So let's see what we got here. So U-44, his torpedo skill is +1. It's 1 away, so it's a 0. We're going to fire all 6 fish into it, so it's going to be a +5 in order to +5 to hit to on each die roll. So it's a +5. It needs a 13 to sink, so we need on 6 dice, we need at least 1 8. We need at least 1 8 to sink it. Should we fire them all at once, or should we do it one by one? We need at least 1 8 on these 6 dice. You know what? I'm going to fire them one by one. Fire 1. Shoom. A 9. We don't have to roll the rest of them. Shoom. Kaboom. We'll roll the rest. And we got an 8 and a 9 and whatever was left. We fired the whole spread. And the Empress of Britain goes boom. we go ahead and sink that thing big time. Glug, 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 glug. That is big. That is 4 victory points and 3 experience points for U44. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That is big. Because we got to fire first because we were aggressive. That is big. Now the enemy gets to attack, but since we were not detected, they're not going to be able to do anything with that. So if there are no detected U-boats in the tactical display, the enemy escorts do not attack. But now an alerted marker does go on there. So alerted goes on the board now. So it is alerted because now you just lost your passenger ship. You just lost your passenger ship, and you went ahead and blew it up. So you just lost the main ship. The 3 merchants were important, yes, but sinking that ship was huge. So how about that? Now we go back. So after the cautious U-boats, we now go back to the combat, to the beginning of the movement, and we're going to try to get the heck out of here now. So we got to try to get out of here. We used all 6 fish to sink the big guy. So we're going to try to get out of here. So U44 is going to move, and he's going to move here into that area right there. Still staying submerged, of course. Still staying submerged. And now we have the lag. For lag, we're going to go speed 0. So lag speed 0. So now the U-boat is going to move 2 spaces down. 1, 2. Just like that. So we go ahead and move 1, 2 as these guys move further up the way. Lost the ship. So that's a lag. Now the escorts try to detect, but we're still submerged, and they can't detect at a range of 3. So the kite cannot detect, but he will. I think he'll stay put. What is that? It's a 4. I think he stays put. Yeah, he doesn't move. The kite stays where he's at. And the daring, 1, 2, 3, cannot detect us. It's a 7, and he stays where he's at. So although it is a +1 to detect, +1 to detect us, but we're too far away. And unless, wait a minute, let me check something on alerted. I think of alerted, I think it increases the, let's see, each alerted counter improves the escort's range and the rolls of detect U-boats by 1. Escorts can only attack detected U-boats. So actually, submerged, they could detect us if we were at range 2, since we were alerted because it wasn't attack. But we're still 3 away from that. 1, 2, 3 away from that. They cannot detect us. They cannot detect us. So, no detect from us. So we then have aggressive U-boats. We're not going to be aggressive here. We're going to get the heck out of Dodge. So the enemies can't attack us. They don't find us. And now, so that means we're going to go straight to the movement phase. And we're going to move back into long range. And lag is going to take us off of it. And we are out. Good job by U44. Good job. Good job by U44. So the remainder of these ships go back into the pile. And so that was the only contact we had there. So good job by U44, and it will go into the searched into the search box. Into the search box. And let's continue. So now that's it for that. So the post-combat resolution. We do add a stress. So now that's at 4 stress for the U-boat. And we reload the torpedo. So this 6 is gone. So now that 6 moves over there. So the submarine still has 10 torpedoes left on it. We recorded the experience points and such. And we are still in the North Sea. We are still in the North Sea. So that's it for the post-combat resolution phase. Now we go to the refit segment. His coolness will lower the stress of this U-boat back to 3. The oil leak will be repaired. And can we promote the U-boats yet? I don't think so. No, can't promote the U-boats, which is fine. Cannot promote the U-boats. And we have not reached the patrol limit. I've not sent them back to port. We're an hour into this right now, so I think the next one we will send them back to port no matter what to end their first patrols. Okay. So now we go back to the operations segment. We'll remove the U-boats. And we're going to send them back to port this time, I think. So as we're getting into the hour, so it's an hour is done. So let's see what we got here. Now, in order to have a decent patrol, we have to give at least 19 victory points to get above dismal. Of course, we are only using 2 U-boats here, but because we're veteran U-boats, it makes them a little bit easier to do the battle. All right, so this will be our final patrol in the North Sea for both of them. So let's start with U-43. So let's flip them over back to their search area. So North Sea. So he's gonna patrol. So U-43. We draw two event cards as these guys have left the building. So U-43 patrols. So he gets 2 event cards. The first one is maintenance. You may spend 2 SOs to remove 1 stress from each U-boat. I am not going to do that because they're going to be heading home after this anyway. And they'll get their stress production when they get back to port. Second event card, morale boost. Remove 2 stress from this U-boat. See, so, if I use the 2 SOs, okay, I get 2 stress removed for free. So now this 3 now becomes a 1. And you would think they would have a bit of a morale boost. They did good. Now we have our contacts. So Captain Ambrosius of U-43 will go ahead and try to get his contacts. So his contacts, he's a searcher, so you add 1. So let's see what he gets this time. 9. Oh, so there are 2 contacts. 10. He becomes a 10. So it's 3 contacts he finds. So he finally hits the mother load here. So 3 contacts he finds. So let's see what he's going to do on his final foray into the North Sea. So let's see what we want to do. So first contact is 3 merchants and 3 escorts. Three merchants and 3 escorts. No. I'll decline that contact. And now we'll go to 2. We'll try we'll try another contact here. 2 lone merchant ships. There we go. Remember, now you might be seeing a lot of cards with 2 lone merchant ships. Remember, in the early stages of the Battle of the Atlantic, a lot of merchant ships were not escorted. Mostly, there were not that many escorted merchants. He'll definitely go after these guys. So we got 2 merchant ships to go after. He'll definitely go after these guys. So 2 merchant ships, no escorts. Okay, so of course a warning will come in there for U-44. So a U-boat warning contact will come in. And of course we have battle location. And we'll put U-43 into play. And don't know yet what we're going to see. But I'm going to come in submerged. I'm going to come in submerged and not go surface just quick. We can always surface later, depending on what we find here to hit. We also don't know. There are also possible Q ships that could be dangerous to the U-boat, so we got to be careful. Now let's find out any special things. Add 3 to form Wolfpack die rolls. Ooh, so we could add 3 to help form a Wolfpack if we want to call in U-44. But on this kind of thing, I would not call in a wolf pack here. It doesn't make any sense because we know U-43 could probably handle these 2 merchant ships on its own. So it will, because there's no escort. So we will not form a wolf pack. So now we'll go ahead and move. And we will move into here. And we get to find out what merchants we're going up against. First one is a medium freighter, Balmoral class, medium freighter. He's worth 1 victory point. And the second merchant is, the Caddo, a large tanker class, 10,000 tons. Well, we already know what we got to try to sink. We got to go after the tanker. So we got to go after the tanker. So the Caddo class tanker. So Caddo class tanker. So let's see what we're going to do here. All right. So we have a medium freighter and a large tanker. So let's all right. So we've already moved. We got lag. And we're going to slow down our speed to 0. And I'm going to have lag take us into here against the Caddo. So I'm going to have it go after the Caddo. The Caddo needs 10, needs 10s to sink. The Balmoral Wood needs 9, the freighter. I'll probably like to hit both of them because if I don't finish one off, I can surface and hit the other one with the gun. So either way, I think we're going to sink both these merchant ships. So U-43 moves in. There are no escorts, and there are no enemy attacks because the freighters cannot attack a submerged U-boat. So we go to cautious. So U-43 is going to attack. I'm going to send 4 fish into the tanker and 2 into the freighter. Although maybe 3 may be enough. But in order to hit the Caddo, you definitely want to sink the tanker. It's worth more victory points here. I'm going to use 4. So 4 fish into the Caddo and 2 into the freighter. So into the Caddo, we'll fire first. We get +1 torpedo, -1 per range. We're in the same range. So +4 -1 is 3. So we're going to get +4 on each die. The Caddo needs 10s to sink. So we need a 6 on one of these 4 dice. Fire 1. No. Fire 2. Got him. Boom. He sinks. Fire 3. Nope. Fire 4. Yes. So the Caddo goes kaboom and he is sunk. Glug, 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 glug. So the Caddo tanker buys the farm right there. So that is U-43. So we're gonna get we're going to get 2 and 2. So we get 2 experience points and 2 victory points. Now for the 2 on the Balmoral Wood, the freighter. The freighter needs 9s to sink. We are 1 away from it, so +1, but 1 hex away. -1 is 0, of course. +2 to fire, -1. So the only thing that gets, so it's only a +1 on each die. For the Balmoral Wood, it would sink on a 9, so we need an 8 on one of these 2. First one, fire 1. Nope. Fire 2. Nope. So the 5 + 1 is a 6, and we do heavy damage to it though. So the 5 + 1 is a 6. It does reach this marker here. So in order for heavy, so it would be 6 to 9. So 6 to 9 would be heavy damage. So the Balmoral Wood is dead in the water. So we did do heavy damage to it. So we did heavy damage to it. So not too bad. Now, of course, and that's it for him. So the Balmoral Wood his speed is now 0. So, and we don't have to worry about him. We should be able to sink him with the gun. So let's see what we do. Okay, so we do heavy damage to the freighter, and we now go back to the movement phase. U-43 is going to move into the range of the Balmoral Wood in the same area, and we will surface. We will surface on the Balmoral Wood. And there is no lag because they're both moving at a speed of 0, so both ships stay where they're at. There are no escorts to detect or move. We are a cautious U-boat. The Balmoral Wood does get to attack. It does get to attack. But however, though, it has no attack rating, as you can see on its card. Its surface fire is NA. So the Balmoral Wood is a sitting duck. So we can stay here all day long to sink this thing. We've already used our torpedoes, so now we're going to have to go ahead and use the guns. These 6 are gone. So now these 3 move into here. And by the way, now there are deck guns on here, which I did not put the deck gun ratings. They both should have deck gun ratings here. So now we're going to go ahead and fire. So there's nothing that can do the Balmoral Wood. So now it's a cautious U-boat's turn. So we're going to fire the gun. The deck gun gets a plus from the U-boat modifier. So his gun skill is +2. And we are at the same range. So no -3 per range. So it's +2. So in order to hit this thing, if we get a +2, a 3 will do light damage on it, a 5 will do heavy damage on it, a 9 will sink it. It already has a heavy damage marker. So if we hit it again with heavy damage, it's sunk. So it's +2. So we need a 3 or higher to sink this thing. Need a 3 or higher. It already has heavy damage, so we need a 3 or higher to sink it. Nah, darn. So it gets +2, so it does light damage on it. So now it's got heavy and light. It has heavy and light damage. And we go down to 5 now on the gun. So we did light damage to the freighter. It's still there, but it's listing to port badly. And that's it. Now we go back to the beginning of the combat resolution phase. We're not moving, neither it is, and there's no lag, no escort. So we go straight to the enemy. So we pretty much go straight to the gun attack again because the Balmoral Wood can't attack us, and neither of us are moving right now, as the Balmoral Wood's a dead duck. So we're going to fire the gun again. This time, the only way, it's still a +2. The only way, I don't think we miss it all. 1 + 2 is a 3. So we sink it on this turn no matter what. It is an 8, and that becomes a 10. And the second gunshot blows the Balmoral Wood out of the water. Boom! Lip, glug, 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 glug. So that wasn't too bad. And we'll get another victory point and experience point for sinking that ship. So well done by U-43 right there to take those out. And now this becomes a 4 because we used a gunshot on it. 121 getting up there. And that is it. So U-43 moves back into the North Sea. We do add a stress, so the stress becomes a 2. We reload the torpedo, so there's got 6 fish left back in the ready 2s. And we get the victory points and all that. So there were that was the second contact, I believe it was, if I'm right. Let me see something here. Yep, that was the second contact. So there's only one contact remaining for U-43. So let's see if he finds anything interesting before he heads back to port. So the next convoy for the last contact is 6 merchants and 3 escorts. Six merchants and 3 escorts. He's got 6 fish in the water. You know what? I think he's going to be happy with what he's done, and we're going to send him back to port. He will decline, and he will go back to port. And he will go back to port. So U-43 goes back to port as he did his job in the North Sea, and he will stay at port for now. So not too bad. So he returns to port. We're going to decline it. So now we go to U-44. Now U-44 has got to still patrol. He will now patrol in the North Sea. And we got to draw 2 event cards for him. First event card is stormy weather and U-boats movement for this step. Well, he was not moving anyway. Second event card, clear weather, no effect. All right, so we had stormy weather and then it became clear weather. So he is fine. So nothing happens to U-44. So now we got to see if he finds any contacts. Now there is a warning marker here in the North Sea, so it's -2 to contacts. -2 to contacts. -2 to contacts. So it is the number here -2 due to that. So we need to see if we can get at least 1 or 2 more chances to sink something. It's an 8, -2 becomes a 6, and there's going to be only 1 contact for U-44. And that contact is going to be, 3 merchants and 2 escorts. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it. So 3 merchants and 2 escorts. So he's going to enter against 3 merchant ships and 2 escorts. And we'll see if U44 can maybe expend some of that fish they got and sink something. All right. So, all right. So we're going to come in there, and now we're going to move our sub U44 into the convoy, and I'm going to move him, put him over here, away from the escorts. I think that's a good place to put him, and he will, of course, come in submerged. And now we got to see what the special is for the convoy, and it's going to be Iron Nerves. Add 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. Whoa, that is a great card to get. Steeler fan joins us here late in the battle or late in the patrol. Thank you for joining me, sir. So add 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. This one, and plus he's aggressive, so he gets to fire. He gets to fire first. So that is big. So now we're going to find out and see what we have. So now we do movement, and he is going to come into, he's going to come into here, I think. Or do I want him to come in here? He can't detect me if I come in here. I'm going to say no, I'm going to come into here instead. So I'm going to come in there, and that'll be the movement for the sub. Now we do lag, and we're going to move at speed 0. So these ships will move. But before we do that, now that we moved here, we got to find out what we have. We'll first do this. We'll first do this ship here. So that is a medium freighter. It's the Tudor class. Tudor class medium freighter. We got to find out first what we got. We are 2 hexes away from here. So we got to find out what the escort is. And the escort is a frigate. It's the Ballandary class frigate. And we are 2 spaces away from here, so we can find out what that merchant is. And that's going to be the Rigel class small freighter. We are too far away to find out what that ship is or that one. Okay, so now we go to lag, and we're going to go speed 0. We're going to lag 2 spaces. 1, 2. Lag 2 spaces here. So now we're right up on the Rigel. And because we move here, now we know we can find out what these ships are. We'll find out what this merchant is, and that is the Pyrrhus. It's a steam merchant. Pyrrhus class steam merchant. And now we have to find out what this escort is, and that is the Hero class destroyer. So that is the group we have there. The Hero class destroyer is worth 2 experience points, but no victory points. The Rigel's not even worth any experience points. I think we go after the Pyrrhus and the Rigel. No, the Pyrrhus and the Tudor. The Tudor is worth a victory point and an experience point. The Pyrrhus is also worth a victory point and experience point. Destroyers are usually not used any victory points, escorts. Sinking escorts are great, but I don't think it's necessary to go after escorts. I think, your mission is to sink merchant shipping, not go after the actual Navy forces, unless, of course, you're, trying to get maybe a final shot or something. So, well, let's see what we can face. So, all right, so that was our lag. Now, the escorts try to detect us. The Ballandary is too far away to detect us. He's 3 hexes away. He's 3 spaces away, so he can't detect us. So he'll move. He moves a 7. He stays where he's at. The hero is 2 away from us. You can only detect the submerged. He needs to be at least 1 away. Needs to be 1 away, so he will not detect. Let's see where he goes. That's a 1. I think he moves out of the short range zone. An escort in the short range area moves. If an escort is in one of the 4 convoy areas or a medium, the escort moves 1 area to a randomly determined adjacent short range area. Okay, so he could move either here, here, or here. I'll roll a d6. That's a 4. He moves here. So the hero moves out there, and now he is there. Okay. So the escorts, now it's our turn. Now, Captain Mathis is aggressive, which means he gets to go first instead of waiting for them. So we get to go first here. So let's see. The Rigel is still a victory point. Still got to go after it. Sinking the Rigel should be pretty easy. It doesn't need much to sink. It's only 1,000 tons. It's not a big ship. The Tudor and the Pyrrhus, the medium freighter and the steam merchant, may be a little tougher. The Tudor, however, is a little further away. Let's just make sure we sink one of these things. So I'm going to throw 3 torpedoes at the Rigel and 3 into the Tudor. I'm going to let the Pyrrhus get away. So we're going to try to do some damage here. So I'm going to throw 3 into the Rigel and 3 into the Tudor. And try to sink 2 of these things and then just get out of dodge. And be happy with it. And plus, we add 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. So that's pretty good, too. So, the Rigel should be a dead duck, but unfortunately, we're too far away from the Tudor because we're 2 spaces away from the Tudor. But let's see what happens. So, 3 and 3. U-44 is going to fire at the Rigel. So we'll do that first. Plus U-boat torpedo skill modifier +1. -1 per range 0. +3. -1 is 2, but he gets 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. So it's a 4. So against the Rigel, the Rigel will be sunk on 7s. So he needs 3s to sink it. So fire 1. Got him. Boom. Fire 2. Boom. Fire 3. Boom. And the Rigel is blown out of the water with ease. Glug, 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 glug. So we get a victory point. We get no experience point for that, though, but we do get a victory point. Now the 3 that were fired at the Tudor. The Tudor is 2 away. So again, it is +1. Okay. -1 per range. So now it's -1. +3 fired. So -1 + 3 is 2. Is a +2. -1 is a 1. So we only get +1 on each die roll. +1 on each die roll. The Tudor will sink on a 6. We'll sink on a 9. So we need an 8. One of these dice need to be an 8 in order to sink it. Fire 4. Boom. But doesn't get it. That's going to be boom. Fire 2. Boom. Fire 3. Got it with the 8. Boom. We got him. Kablamo! And we sink the Tudor. We needed a 9. The most would have been at least heavy damage, but the Tudor goes. Glug, 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 glug. So that ship is toast. And so now, of course, an alerted marker goes on the board now because 2 ships just got blown out from under these escorts from the submarine. Now, of course, the enemies get to attack, but we're not detected, so they can't attack us. And now we go to the cautious U-boats, and of course we were, so that is it for that. So we sank 2 merchant ships off of it, took 2 ships right out of it. Not too bad. So now we go back to the movement phase. This U-boat is going to stay surfaced, and he is going to stay submerged, and he is going to move at speed 1. We're going to get out of dodge. Move speed 1 out of dodge. And then we have the lag, and for lag, we're going to go speed 0. So for speed 0, okay, and so at speed 0, they're 2, we're going to be a 0, and we're going to lag right off the tournament, right off of it, and we are out of there. And we will return to port. So we sank 2 more merchant ships, and we get out of there, and right now the British have no clue what to do against my submarines, because right now the Germans are blowing them up. We return to port, and that completes the patrol for each one. We're doing a medium, that is 2 patrols for each submarine. So we completed the patrols, and for the first patrol for each sub, and they've gone back to port, and that will complete it. So, of course, you have the refit segment, which will refit segment. We'll follow it back here. So we go to the refit segment. So U-43, can he promoted? No, he cannot. He is at 8 experience points. He's at 8 experience points, but not too bad. Okay. And we went back to port. Stress recovery in port. Reduce the stress points for each U-boat in a port by the number of stress points shown on the refit line for the port. So let's see. Refit 5 stress. So he loses all his stress. He loses all his stress as they went back to port because they were done with the patrol. Port restock. They will restock they will restock the torpedoes. So we'll do that on the next turn. And that is it. So we are done with their first patrol. So we're off to a pretty good start here on the campaign log. So they have so U-boat 43 got 10 total victory points on the first patrol, and U-44 got 8. So on that first patrol, we got 18 victory points. And we're only 1 away from getting out of dismal to poor. We should get to at least adequate, maybe get to good this time if we can. We got 18 victory points on that first total. Now remember though, each turn with no U-boats at sea, it's -2. So we are going to get a -2 modifier there. So I'm just going to say -2 to the side. So right now we're at a dismal level, okay. But remember, we're only using 2 U-boats here, so not too bad for this first start of the patrol. So they will go ahead and refit, and we will have patrol number 2 for these U-boats coming up next time we play this. And so not bad, pretty good job by these guys. They did good. They did pretty good. They went ahead, did some damage. They did some damage, and we're gonna get and probably use some SOs and maybe add a mission in there to see if we can get ourselves above. So I think we did pretty good. What do you guys think? I think we did pretty good. So the two U-boats will refit. They'll go back out and next time I think we'll head into the British Isles. We'll probably head over here next time and see what we can find over there. And for the second patrol here, for the battle begins. And that will do it for this patrol. Our next World War II leader, we go back to Tiger Leader for the second week of Poland Mokra, 1939. So now we go back to land as these two U-boats get refitted and set up for their next patrol. We go back to ground warfare. Tiger Leader continuing Poland Mokra, 1939. We'll do week 2. We got 2 battles scheduled for that week. And that will be tomorrow. We'll do that patrol tomorrow. And of course, you guys know we are a week and 2 days away from the beginning of the 1981 inside pitch season, and I know that's what everybody's waiting for. So, but I'm having fun doing this, guys. So for those of you that I know are just waiting for me to get to baseball, back to baseball, don't worry, people. We'll be getting back to it soon enough. But we're going to do a lot more World War II action. We have to still do Corsair leader, Zero leader, Sherman leader, Gato leader, some other stuff coming in I want to try out too. So hope you guys do enjoy what I am doing here. We'll be getting back to baseball very shortly. Steeler fan and Brian Patterson, thank you for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out of the ocean. Subscribe if you've not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe. Stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more World War II leader, and it will be Tiger Leader as we go back to Poland Mokra 1939. See you guys later. Have a good night.